Let me see. Okay, so now it's working.
Okay.
Um, let's repeat. Is there someone entering the call, or this is your account, Dr. Shams?
Uh, did I'm using the internet of my nephew now.
Okay, so that's okay. So we're gonna welcome Dr. Prabhakar Madhikar again. Sorry for this technical problem. We're starting the channel and we're learning. So apology to everyone. My name is Shady, and I'm here to welcome Dr. Prabhakar to talk about Madhikar Yoga. So Dr. Prabhakar, sorry, I'm learning how to pronounce the name. Dr. Shams, as I used to call you, which is exactly the same meaning of the name, to bring the light. And Shams in Arabic means the sun, and the sun usually brings the light to us. So in our first episode, we talk about grounding, and this time we're talking about know the nature, know yourself. Before knowing nature and before knowing ourselves and the self itself, what is nature and what is the self?
All right. Good morning from India. That is Bharat or Hindustan. Early afternoon, evening, early night to all my friends all over world. Whoever is watching this episode in all regions of the world. Salamu alaikum to my friends in Middle East and bonjour to my friends in France and in other areas of the world. My dear all, welcome. Welcome to a wonderful journey of discovery, rather, a self rediscovery of yourself, and to know the basic curiosity and questions about human life and life in general, human life in particular. Why there is strife, intolerance, hatred, violence in the world, where there could be exactly opposite to all these love, peace, tolerance, exchange, sharing. We shall begin a journey today to know the root cause of all the miseries in the world. It has only one cause, that is misidentification or no identification of ourselves with others. And when I say others, it is people, it is the birds, the animals, the nature, the rivers, the mountains, skies, everything included. And you are welcome to this world of reality and an abstraction in order to know the fundamentals of the nature. My friend Shadi just asked what is nature and what is its importance in our life. My dear own self, you are my own reflections. Before we go to the nature, I would like to explain this. Why would I call you as my own reflections? because I am a part of you, whoever you are, wherever you are, child to a very old, man, woman, other genders, all inclusive. I am a part of you. And so you are a part of mine. We all part of something very indivisible, humongous, indescribable, eternal nature. Therefore, we have a common bonding, a relationship with everything around us. Now let us come to see what is nature. Nature is a state of being, a state of existence, which you can see, you can hear, you can touch, smell, and feel with all your sense organs. And this is everywhere. Have you ever looked up to the skies in the early morning or midday or at midnight and wondered why it is there and why it is there as it is? And who am I and what is my connection to this everything around me? This is what we are going to investigate and experience. I would like to clarify one thing, that I am a man of a common sense. I am not an extraordinary genius or an enlightened soul, monk, rishi, or guru, or yogi. I am a common sense man. Everything I do, I try to follow my common sense. Which appeals to my sense, I follow. Which does not appeal to my common sense, I tend to postpone it until I get a reasonable proof of thing that I should like to do or should not like to do. Now, when I say common sense, why I am telling you all this is essential to understand the nature, and then it will be very easy to understand ourselves. When I say that common sense is a feeling and an experience that we get either directly or indirectly with interaction with the things, persons, situations around us. For example, eyes only see, eyes cannot hear. Ears can only hear, ears cannot see. Like that, nose only smells and breathes, it cannot speak, it cannot see. So is the tongue. It can only speak and taste. It cannot see. And so is the skin, our body. It can only touch and feel, hot, cold, things like that. And it cannot do rest of the things. But there is something in us, in each one of us, that is connected to all these various sense organs, organs of functions in your body, in our body, in my body, in your body. And when we interact with either our own self or with the others, through these senses we get an input of information, and thereby we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, and we touch. And this experience of each one of us is connected to one central nucleus in our body, and that is called common sense. Each of these organs are senses in individual, but when they are all connected to one point, to the nucleus, it is the center called common sense. And whenever, I want to make it clear before we begin this journey, that whatever we speak, it should be first of all logical, scientific, experimentable, demonstrable, and you get the results out of this demonstration And wherever, whenever, irrespective of place and time, when you repeat this, more or less you get the same result. Then it is a fact, and that must be followed. This is the way I follow in my life, in conducting my life, and I wish that everyone does the same, which does not stand to this logic and scientific investigation. It can be only an abstraction, a subjective saying and feeling, and it may not stand to physical proof. Therefore, it may be questionable and it must be questioned until the reality and factual thing about it established. Therefore, when we are going to speak about the nature, we have to use this center of us, the common sense, through our organs of perception and action to receive the information. And whatever I am saying, please know that whatever I am saying, you need not accept it as it is. You listen to it, you analyze it, and you experiment it, and then get an experience and verify that experience. That sometimes you may get a wrong experience. Therefore, you cross verify your experience with others, and if the final conclusion of a common experience of all of us more or less is the same, then it is a fact. And this fact is the nature, the existence around us. Now, when we say nature, let us go back to the source of the knowledge. I am an Indian, so I follow the Indian philosophy or Vedanta, as it is said in Indian language. And philosophy, the meaning of the word philosophy is love of wisdom. This is not the experience of the wisdom. Sometimes your love may falter, and then you later realize that, oh, I was mistaken, I had misconception, and now I realize that what I was thinking, feeling, doing was incorrect. It may not be wrong, but it may be incorrect. But the same, parallelly looking at the Indian context, it is called Vedanta. Why I am telling you is it is essential to understand before you understand the concept of nature and the proof of nature and its impact on us. So Vedanta is a phrase, has two parts. One is Veda and one is Anta. Veda has many meanings. The most accepted is the knowledge. And when you say Veda, the knowledge, what is Anta means? Anta means the end, the finality, which is the a full stop. There is nothing more than that. That's what a full stop is here, right? So Vedanta is literally meaning the end of the knowledge. What does it mean? It means that if you are pursuing something, when your activity is complete, you have an understanding and experience of doing that something, and that you are convinced that you have reached the finality of your task. There is nothing more beyond it. More beyond it is only nothing. No thing, nothing. Therefore, Vedanta means the end of the knowledge. And the question comes, so what happens at the end of the knowledge? At the end of the knowledge, you get wisdom. And wisdom is the word which is the result of your experience of whether physical or mental activity. Therefore, Vedanta is the wisdom that you get out of all your activities. When this wisdom is experienced and criticized, cross examined, and if it proves to be true, then it becomes a fact, a reality. And this is called the Srju or Satya. I would be using a lot of Indian terminology, and I will give you the synonyms of these in a couple of languages that I know.
I think maybe later, doctor, that we need to take all those words and write a little bit of definition to it. In our like social media, we have now a Facebook page, we have Instagram page, and also our YouTube channel. So please,
Right.
everyone, follow us on those social media accounts, because that's very important knowledge that we are hearing now, and it's important to record it and share it as well with people. Sorry to interrupt you, but I really like that. So continue.
No, most welcome. I actually wish to have a very active, interactive session that it could be very lively and entertaining to both of us, to the participants. And
I didn't want to interrupt, but maybe I'd like. So when at the beginning you said you are the reflection of us, and sometimes people they don't get this a bit, and I like that Rumi, the Islamic Sufi philosopher and thinker, he said in Arabic, هو الكل أنا العاشق, or he's everything and I am the lover. So the creator or the universe or the whole, uh, and we are the lover, we are part of the whole, and all of us is the whole, and the whole represented and manifested in all of us. But once we start to think on a very micro level, we start to think that we're separated. I imagine if the cells of the palm of my hand, they start to have the sense of self, and this is also something that we are going to talk about, and they start to fight that no, we're from different world, but still at the end of the day, they are cells of the skin of my hand, which is part of the same body. Maybe they are different in nature, maybe they have different um, purpose, goals, or like goal in life or whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it's part of the same fabric and the same body. If one cell of that body got sick, the rest of the body will get sick. And if one cell of that body got well, the rest of the body will get well. So when people do like, because sometimes we start think, oh, this is very positive and utopian narrative that I am part of you, you're part of me, we're stardust. Certainly, yes, I am also part of the mud, because the single unit of creating the universe we made it, which is light, our energy, whatsoever, the atom, the cell. It's all at the end of the day comes to that small seed that made all of us, everything. So, yes, maybe we're stardust. Maybe I am you, you're me. But also, what makes us disconnected and stuck in that trap, the sense of self or the ego, the I. And the I makes lots of problems. But also, maybe, and please correct me here, is this is part of the nature or
absolutely.
experience to feel separated to our souls, that this is, I feel like this is a classroom our souls go to. We need to learn how to live in a separated reality, not in a singular or a wholeness or a collective consciousness. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, you rightly said. It is not, we are all one is not any utopian idea. It is a fact. It is a fact of science. This is what we are going to explore. And we discover how wonderful, fantastic it is to know that and experience that. When we say, you just mentioned rightly, that we are one of this whole fabric. And science has now proved in quantum physics that if one particle is altered thousands of miles away, kilometers away, a very distant spot, other particle also moves in the same way. So, this is a proof, physical proof, that no matter how far away we are, divided or placed, if something happens at one end, the other end automatically reacts to it. And this has been described and explained in the past, immemorial past, in Indian philosophy or Vedanta, as we just discussed, that how we are all part of the one universal consciousness or being. This universal being is called the nature or the Prakruti in Indian terminology. And what is Prakruti? Prakruti is the existence itself, that experienceable surroundings that we are living in, from the space above, sky above, to the earth that we are standing on. And we are going to explore this. Prakruti means it is something which is done well or perfectly or precisely. This Prakriti word, let us understand this, then we understand the nature very easily. This Prakriti has two sounds in it, pra and kruti. Pra in Sanskrit means the first and the best also. Kruta means to do. Kruti is that which has been done. So Prakriti means, to my understanding, I must confess here one thing, that all ancient scriptures, philosophical scriptures, originally on Sanskrit language, and I am not an expert in Sanskrit language. I know very little bit of it. So to my understanding, Prakruti is the first thing that has been done, invented, created, made perfectly. This is what Prakriti is. An equivalent word to this is nature. And when I look at the word nature, it has two sounds too, like ne and char. Let us look at the end part of the char. Char is explaining the state of being, like a candidate, candidature. Fix, fixture. Made, nature means it shows that condition. Nay must be in Latin or Greek means yes, positive, being. So when nature also should mean that one first thing which has been made perfectly well, there is nothing more to be added. That is what the nature is. And this nature, where is it? This nature is, you look up to the skies, what you see? You see the clouds, you see the very beautiful hue of blue color endlessly. That is the nature. When you feel around the very comforting breeze, you feel so good about it. The air, that is the nature. When you see the sun rising on the horizon with the beautiful hue of orange, saffron to mid gray to white, that is the nature. And when you see the beautiful flow of waters around you, that is the nature. When you feel the solid earth on which you are standing, that is the nature. We'll go into this in detail a little later. So what I mean to say is, everything that is around us is the nature, Prakruti. And then the question should arise, what is my connection to it? Where did I come from? Where did this nature itself come from? If nature has been made, it must have been made out of something. So what is that something? If we understand this something, which is everything around us, and at the same time, it is nothing or no thing around us. This may sound a very tall, abstractive, subjective statement, but this is what it is. Nature
That
is
might confuse people. Is it everything and nothing? And
yes,
yeah, and I think also when you said philosophy, the definition of it, it's the love of wisdom, not
yeah,
seeking wisdom. It's just the love of it. You love something with
yes.
everything. So part of wisdom that it's very simple and very deep as well. And that's where this code can fall, that it's everything and nothing at the same time. And I think this is our existence. Like, I'm everything and I'm nothing. But why?
Let me add one word here. It is nothing, which means no thing. If you break the word nothing, it is no thing, which is nothing. Right? Go on.
Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, we are going to look at this in detail now. So, when we say, first we look at the nature, then we come to the everything and nothing around us. Nature, our Prakriti, has been done, has been made. So the question comes, who made it? Who designed it? Who is behind it? The doer are known as Karta. And this is explained in Indian philosophy or Vedanta as the doer of this nature, the maker, the creator of this nature is the Param Purusha. Para means the highest, Purusha means the entity, masculine power, or it might be a neutral power. That power which is there, that has made this nature. But the question might be asked, from where did this karta came from? Where did this doer come from? This is where there is no acceptable logical answer. People who believe that yes, there is somebody, something out there doing all this are called theists or believers or mu'mins in Arabic, are the followers, are devotees, and those people who do not accept that there is someone doing all this are called atheists, non-believers. So we have no clear answer for this only one question in the world, which in other words is known as the God or Brahman. Whether this is a person, if it is a person, whether it is a masculine, feminine, or a neutral, we don't know. But because we are on the path of investigation and understanding, we have to start with some point of understanding and beginning that okay, we accept this. Then what next? When we start to investigate what next, then we can ask and have any questionable answers or satisfying answers to that. So let us begin to understand the nature Prakriti from a standpoint of very logical presentation. And then we understand how we are the part of this common fabric. When, let us follow the scientific theory here, not theory but accepted law of physics, that once upon a time, long ago, which is about 13 plus billions of years ago, there was one single particle. And this single particle at one time had exploded or opened up. And when this has happened, the energy that was inside has sprung out in open space. And that energy has started to collapse, extremely hot energy started to collapse and formed all the galaxies that we know today. And out of that, our sun is one small speck. And when this has been happening, the question is, if there was this one singularity or that particle, where did it come from? And if we say that this was in this space unknown area, where that space came from? That we have actually no answer. Although the Indian philosophy has answered even that question, but scientifically we have not acceptable all agreeing answer to this. Therefore, we begin that there was something X, like the Twitter. X, we don't know. And out of this, we don't know who some people in Eastern philosophies called Parabrahman, in Western philosophies called God, or in Middle Eastern philosophies called Allah. Like this, we begin from there. In science, I would put this Allah, God, or Parabrahma into a one simple term as the finality of consciousness. When we say a finality of consciousness, what is the proof? You just mentioned some time ago that we are a small particle of a speck of this fabric. What is the proof that there must be a common consciousness very, very superior, far from us? The proof is, are we conscious beings or not? Do we see or not? Do we hear or not? Do we smell or not? Do we taste or not? Do we touch or not? No one can say that no. Unless, with due apologies, a blind person says that, no, I don't see, therefore nothing exists. But is that valid argument? No. A deaf person must say, a completely deaf person, no, I don't hear any sound, therefore sound doesn't exist. Well, to him that is the reality. But is it the fact? It's not. We all know that we have senses of experience, and we know if I see something, you also see something. If I describe an apple in a certain way and you describe an apple in a certain way, although the apple in itself is the one, but two different individuals are looking at it and their explanation will be slightly different because of one's own perception and understanding, right? And that gives us a conscious feeling of something that we can experience, and no one can deny this. So this feeling of something, feeling about something, these words are very funny sometimes when we indulge in philosophical discussions. They rhyme and they are funny and you really enjoy talking and listening to them and feeling about them. So this consciousness, if I have seen the apple, you have seen the apple, and million people around the world, but their experiences, their explanations are very different. But there is one thing common among all of us, that we all agree that yes, this is an apple, right? Similarly, the consciousness that we have in each of us, all around the 8 billion people, is different individually. But as a whole humanity, we feel one thing. And that feeling is the feeling that we have. And we know that we have this feeling. And this feeling must have an origin from where it has come. Nothing can come from nothing. This is a scientific fact. But in philosophy, and even in modern latest physics, we are accepting that things can come out of nothing. Because when there is nothing, means which no thing, it is so small that there is no way to see it. But as time passes, this small thing can evolve. Like before the flower was a bud. But before the bud, what was there? There was no bud. But where was it? We don't know. It was somewhere in the plant, in the tree. Then slowly it has come out as a swelling has come out, and it turned into a bud, and then it blossomed into flower, and only then that you can appreciate its beauty and its fragrance, right? So looking something and imagining something could be possibly existing must be accepted. It cannot be denied, either scientifically, logically, or philosophically, subjectively. Right? Do you agree with this?
Yes, I agree with this.
Good. So, when we say that we are having individual consciousness and a collective consciousness, like for example, in our family, this is all about the nature. Why we are going so deep here is in our long journey of self rediscovery, this is the fundamental fact that everyone must know, and only then you will lay a very unquestionable scientific establishment of the truth within yourself, which will never waver, which will never change. So, this fundamental work must be done today for the good of everyone else. And then it will be so easy to understand every other thing in the world, and all problems could be solved. I wish all problems could be solved. If we had the power, you had the power, I had the power over the world, we will change the world like this, from torment to the peace, from violence to the peaceful existence, from hatred to the love, from greed to the sharing. We could do it like this. But the problem is the individual consciousness that we carry in each one of us is of not same clarity. It's like a diamond. Diamond in itself is same. But if that diamond is broken into 10 pieces and 10 people have it, and the shining of the diamond depends upon how each individual is refining it, right?
I have a comment here.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so yes, let me know when I can say that comment, because there is a point here I would like to discuss, because that might be a bit like I have a comment about it. So continue, and then I will say my comment.
okay. Okay. Right. What I was saying is, like the Apple example, I give you an example of a diamond, raw diamond, just found. And there are 10 people, they make it into 10 pieces and each one shares it. Each one has the same diamond, but each one refines it in a different way. So, depending upon how much the refinement that person has done on that piece of the diamond, the reflection, the light of the diamond will depend, right? If somebody has refined it to 10%, it will only shine 10%. If somebody has done 30, 40, 50, 80, 90%, that will shine according to that. But if somebody has done 100% chiseling, shaping, then the diamond will give its brilliance, radiation 100%. Why there is problem in the world is because of this various degrees of consciousness that we have, which is the same but different at the same time individually. And here comes the nature. The word prakriti I use again. When the prakriti was made, came into being, sthiti is a condition or a state or a time of being. When this nature was done, what first came out was the emptiness in it, and this emptiness we called space or akasha. Now you might say that you already said that there was this particle in the space, and now you are saying there is this particle, the primordial singularity, which has blown out or opened up and blossomed into the nature, and there was space again. How is it? It is the same. Like you have a pond in front of you, and out of this pond, one droplet has come out, fell out of it, and it takes different shapes. It may flow further and develop into whatever, a brook, a stream, whatever. And is it not the same like the pond it has come from? It is the same and it is different at the same time. Are you following me?
Yes, I'm
Are you
following you.
following? Right. In the similar way, in the similar way, when we say that we are part of this nature, we have come from one common source, and that common source is eternity. We have no fixed time, although the present creation, the physicists agree that we are 13 plus billion years old, but it must have been there even before. We don't know. The quantum physics is still exploring it. But in Indian philosophy, this has been already questioned and answered, and that answer was verified and accepted by most people. And at all times, there is a possibility that some of us may not agree with final conclusion with the majority. It always happens. Similarly, that happened with the existence of nature also. And this nature, we are here beginning when this Prakriti has started to evolve from the Param Purusha, the highest nature, the consciousness, which cannot be named, which cannot be reduced to a shape, which cannot be ascribed with any particular character. Out of this inexplicable state of something which is nothing because we cannot explain it, the thing which is explainable has come out. The nature has come out from something which we don't know what was behind it. So, as Aristotle has said, that there must be an unmoved mover who is moving everything around us. This is what Indian philosophy said thousands of years ago. There must be some power. They did not name it. They only called Brahman. Brahman literally means that which has spread out, that which has everywhere. That's what Brahman is. Nothing more than that. And out of this, something solid has come out, which is called Prakriti. And to give you a dramatic presentation of this nature, there is a branch of Indian philosophy called Sankhya, or the numerical exposition of the theory of evolution of nature. This sentence may be very long. The whole idea is that a mathematical model of the creation, simply it means that, where you can go number by number and understand, and physically, pragmatically, and empirically also feel and prove that yes, this is existing. This Prakriti, how did it start? Let's go back and then we will come to the exposition of nature and evolution and ourselves as a part of it. We agree that there is something inexplicable, which nobody has seen, nobody could see, nobody could experience. That is a state only. This is what we say. This is sthiti. That's all we can say it. Out of this, the nature Prakriti has come. Then how do we differentiate? It said that which is existing prior to everything is a neutrality. No name, no shape, no character. The Brahman or Allah or the God. And when I am using these words, I am not using it any religious sense. I am not talking about any religion here, including the Hinduism, of which I come from, I belong to. I am not talking about it. I am only talking about the scientific aspect of the exposition of the nature. So, we all agree that there is something which we cannot explain, we cannot see, experience, out of which the nature has come. That which is existing before, they called is Prakruti Bharta, or the Bharta means the controller, the auditor, the manager, the coordinator. This is what Bharta means, or the one who shares equally. So, we agree that this consciousness, Brahman, is a Karta. But this Karta by himself does not do anything. If we say that this Karta or this consciousness, which is a neutral consciousness, it does something, then you are ascribing a particular trait of functionality to it. So that which is able to function must have a shape, a condition, a place. Therefore, the question again is repeated here and it will go on endlessly. Therefore, we do not go into that, but only say that we accept that there is something called Brahman, and from there the Prakriti has evolved. How it is said in Sankhya philosophy that Prakriti is always unstable, moving, and it is called Chanchala. Chanchala means unstable, always wavering, fluctuating, like a wave that we can see on a graph. And there must be something which is not moving at all. Only then we can differentiate. So that which is not moving at all is the Brahman, Purusha or Param Purusha, and Prakriti is that which is always moving. And this Prakriti, when moved, it first took some shape from which was not existing before. And this shape is called Akara in Sanskrit language. Akara means a shape, a form. Actually, it is a form. It is not a shape yet, a form. It's like, for example, the fire. Fire has only a form, it doesn't have a fixed shape, right? But an iceberg, it has a fixed shape. You can explain it, and it is steady. This is what the akara and chalana is, the movement is. So when this Prakriti has first started its evolution from the point where it was nothing, the first thing to evolve was this space or akasha. Some few minutes ago we referred to this, that this akasha is a small part of the larger akasha. This small space which came out of the Big Bang, as we all accept now, mostly accepted the theory of evolution now, is a part of something larger than that. And this Akasha, when has come into existence, it has, it must have a kind of form and a character. This Akasha or the space has no shape, it has only a form, and this form is of no explainable entity. Like, can we explain the space? Space is just emptiness. You cannot talk more about it. But because it is created already, it must have some character to identify. And this character is known as the Shabda, which means the sound. So when nature has started to evolve, as we understood, let me repeat again, nature means being, a state of existence from a state of non-existence. When it has first evolved and developed, it has acquired one character of being existent, and that is the sound, which is one. And I invite the attention of all the viewers to the fact that from here we are going into a methodically, statistically, and mathematically provable content of evolution of nature. And if I would like to put it this way, in a journey, if a mountain is there, let us say, I am giving this before we go further into the exposition of nature. There is a mountain. Which part of the movement will be easier? This is a question to you and all our viewers. That you come down from the peak, the top of the mountain to the ground, or you go up to the peak from the ground towards the peak of the mountain. That is, coming down the mountain or going up the mountain. Which journey will be easier? Answer me, please.
Going down
Exactly.
because
And
of
no
gravity.
one can. No,
Scientifically, because of gravity. But if I'm in space, there is no up, down, left, right.
yeah, we are coming to that. But we
Okay.
agree from general experience that coming down a place is much easier than going up to the place, right? And we
I
follow this path.
myself when you speak to make sure that there is no echo. So when you ask me, I need to unmute myself. So I am with you. Continue, doctor.
Okay. Did you hear my question?
Yes.
Okay. So you answered that coming down the mountain is easier than going up to mountain. and
Yes.
no one can usually deny this. All right. So we follow the same principle in understanding the nature's evolution, and this will give us a very statistical, mathematical exposition of the nature. Now coming back to the space or akasha. Akasha has another word to it. It's called akasha tattva. Tattva has a specific meaning. Tat in Sanskrit means that. Listen to me very carefully, please. This is very useful for our future understanding. Tattva has two sounds in it, two syllables in it, tat and va. And in Sanskrit language, tat means that, and va means expansion. We'll go into these more explanation about these in future sessions. So, Prakriti, when has evolved, it has evolved into something out of nothing, has acquired one character of Akasha Tattva. That means it is the exposition of the nature in its first state of being, coming into being, existence. And it has one character, we said, sound or shabda. In space there is nothing up there, only the sound. And after this, after some millions and billions of years, this being of Akasha has further evolved. Now, hold on to the idea that we are coming from nothing to something, from an abstraction to solidity to understand the nature. And now, from Akasha, the further evolution has come out in the form of the air, which is two characters. Like something coming out of something else would carry its traces of the past. Like I am whatever I am, but I have the traces of my father, and my father has the genetic traces of his father. This we cannot deny, right? Hello?
I'm here, but I am muted. So because not to make any like noise, I am muted. So the
Okay,
echo.
I was saying that you are what you are, carry the genetic traces of your father, right?
Yes,
And your father carries the genetic traces of his father, right?
of course.
You are different, you are better because you are a new generation. Similarly, you have more capability, intelligence, and characters than your predecessors. Similarly, in the nature, from the Akasha, which has one character, what was that? Repeat it, please. The space had, we said, had one character. What is it?
I can't remember the name. Is it the
The
tattoo
sound,
sound? Yes.
shab,
So
shabda.
the sound is good because when you're telling me the story, I read more in the ancient Egyptian mythology, and I hear the same story but with different names.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
also, we're looking to the Abrahamic religion. So, in Christianity, God created the Word, which is represented as Jesus, or as the human manifestation of the divine. Also, the Word, and also in Quran, start with Iqra, read, which means the sound itself. So the sound is could we say, the source of creation?
Yes.
And
Not the
also,
source of creation,
nowadays they
but
made some scientific, let me say, scientific experiment using sound. It's called cymatics, and if anyone search YouTube, they will see lots of videos on the effect of sound on matter, how sound can shape and create matter, and
yes.
and we all vibration. Like if the universe doesn't sound, doesn't vibrate, we will not exist in a way.
Yes.
Uh, Maybe it's too hard, like, to prove it in like 1 plus 1 equals 2, but I think the videos that shows the cymatics videos that shows the effect of sound on matter, you can see it with your eyes. Somehow it will help people to understand, not without words, but just watching and observing this experiment will make lots of people understand why sound is very, it's like one of the main pillars of creation.
That's right. But as you said, that sound as the source of creation, no. I would like to clarify here. Sound is not the source of creation. Sound is the first creation of the creation
Okay.
or in the creation.
Is it a tool of creation?
It is not the tool of creation, it is one part of the whole of the creation, which
Okay.
is the basic instrument.
Any
Basic instrument.
okay.
In itself, it's not
This
the
is, I
creation.
think that's the right word. It's one of the creation instruments.
For one of the primordial first generation instrument of creation,
Mhm.
right? And this has no other existential recognition other than the sound or
Mhm.
shabda. And now we are coming down. Always remember that now we have started the journey from the top to the down,
Yes.
from top to down, because this is easier. So, so after this sound or this space has created out of this nothing, having acquired one physical character of the sound or shabda, few billion years later, this has further evolved. Remember, we said that the Prakriti is chanchala, unstable, ever moving. It always changes and changes for the better. Therefore, Therefore, after some billions of years of this space being created, out of it came a new generation of creation, and that is called Vayu, or the air, or the gas.
Mhm.
Now we know out there in the space, millions of light years away, there are gaseous beings and there are gases flowing, afloat in the
Some
space.
planets are still gases, like they are not solid yet. Like,
So
yeah.
now space
Oh,
is
solar
our,
system. Yeah.
now for our present understanding, space is our starting point of the nature of the Prakriti. And out of the space has come out the element of air. Moola Padartha, or the element. Element is the first undivisible being, thing. It cannot further divide. That's what the element is, the first thing. So, out of this space, something came out which is far better, and it has more than one character. And the character of this second generation in creation, the air or gas, is called the Vayu in Indian context, and it has two characters. Remember, now we are coming down. From
Mhm.
one has developed into two characters. Look at the beauty of the creation of the nature. And what are these two characters? The air has the sound from its previous generation and one of its own, which is, what is the character of the air? That you can feel it. When the breeze flows, don't you feel it?
Yeah.
And when the breeze is stronger, don't you hear it?
You hear it and push you as well.
Therefore, in the nature, now we have come to the second level of creation. From space, of sound to the air. Vayu, Akasha, Shabda to Vayu, the air. And here it has two characters of the sound and touch. Shabda and touch in Sanskrit means sparsha. From, from space, one character, we evolved into the air, two characters. Sound, sound and touch.
Mhm.
And after this, some billions years must have passed, a third generation of thing has come into being. Now follow the progressive mathematical order of creation. And this third one is called the Agni or the fire element. Fire element has one specific character to it plus two from its predecessors. Remember, I am
But you
sure you are following. I am
you
sure
can
you are following.
you can feel it, you can hear it, and you can see it.
Great, great, congratulations. This is what I want. That
And
my viewers to enjoy imagining and experience it. So now the third state of creation is the Agni or the fire element. And fire has three characters. First, it has the sound. When the fire flames, strongly move, they create a chirp. You hear the sound, and then you can touch the fire, and you can feel it's hot. And then third, a character of its own is a form, akara. A form is an unspecific, unstable shape. It is still not a fixed shape, it changes. Like a fire, tongues of the fire, they are never steady. They change from top to bottom to left to right, intensity in everything.
mhm.
So, this is not a fixed shape, it's only a form or akara. So now let me repeat again. From the space sound, from
Sound,
the air
touch,
sound, touch, to the fire element,
sound, touch,
sound,
form.
sound, touch, and the form. And after few billions of years, there was another generation of creation. Why this is happening? Remember again that we said nature in itself is unstable, it always tries to evolve itself for experiences from an inexperienceable source of neutrality. This is something we are coming into a gender now, a physicality. So it evolved into a fourth state of the nature. And this fourth state of the nature is the water or the liquid. And this this is having four characters in it. And these four characters are, now I want you to repeat the characters, please.
The sound, the touch,
Yes.
the form. Water, it's not the shape, but its density. It's like I don't know. I didn't know how to guess this one.
Okay. I will tell you. The water has four characters.
Mhm.
Now, have you ever really wondered about this? We have been drinking water, bathing water, swimming in water, throwing away water, wasting water, but did you ever appreciate the nature of the water itself in your life? Did you ever hold it in your hand and look at it and appreciate it and try to understand it?
I appreciate it because dehydrates me, but
Yes.
I didn't think deeper, and
Yes. This
I
is what we have
love
been
the
using.
I love that I like that we're taking it from early beginning, uh,
Yes.
because maybe there was expectations of getting a solid answer, but I like that because this will help us later on answer the questions that we have, or maybe we will get our own answers. So, what's the character of water,
Yes, the character of water is, let me tell you, let us start from this base again. It
man?
has all the three characters of its
Yeah,
previous existential nature and one of its own. Space sound, air sound and touch, fire sound, touch and form, and water has its own character, that is the taste
taste.
or ruchi. And you may wonder what is the taste of the water? Well, actually, water doesn't have any taste. Distilled water doesn't have any
It's
taste.
water. I mean, I know when I drink some water, I know this is water. It's not anything. It's not like fire. It's not wood. It's water. It's nothing else. Even if it's tasteless, but I know it is water. I don't. It's nothing
So,
else. Yeah.
yeah, for the first time ever, for the viewers who might have not wondered at it, let them know. Let you all, my dear ones, know that water has a taste which has tastelessness.
Oh,
That itself is that itself is its taste. Then when you add honey to it, it becomes
making
sweet.
lots of rules today. I love that. We're deconstructing many thoughts that we took it for granted, and some of them the taste of water. It's tasteless, exactly, and this is a taste. How is like tasteless? Yes,
Yes. But that itself, tastelessness itself is a taste in itself.
yes.
It's wonderfully rhyming, isn't it?
Mhm.
And the water can be having a particular shape, a solid shape. It can be liquid without shape, and it can sometimes have a solid shape, like a block of ice. You
Mhm.
can define, right? Therefore, the fourth state of creation in this whole nature is Vayu, the air, which has the sound,
The touch.
the touch, the form, and the taste. But
Mhm.
the evolution in the nature did not stop here. It has further evolved. After billions of years, something new has come out. And that something new is called the Prithvi Tattva or the earth element. This solid existential being in the nature is called the matter, and that matter is the earth, because any matter, whatever you think of, is part of the earth,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, this stage is the fifth stage of creation or evolution in the nature, and earth has
Shape.
acquired all the four characters of its previous existential states and acquired one of its own.
Shape.
And
No.
particular now,
Okay.
can you get more? Okay, I will tell you. The earth has a one specific character of itself is the smell or vasana.
Yeah.
Did you ever in the desert, like for example in Cairo, when you go out and if it suddenly drizzled, you will smell the
The
earth.
smell of earth. That it's everyone knows how comforting the smell of soil, the smell of the fresh soil. It's uh yeah, and in Egypt especially the soil of the Nile, like without rain,
Yes,
it's very
yes,
black soil and smells of this is earth. That the smell of earth for me.
isn't it? Isn't
Remember one
it?
friend, someone asked them a question. They told them, "What's the smell of God for you?" They said it smells like mud, like the soil. This is earth. So some people, even that smell means something very big to them.
Yes, and this smell is most wonderful, fantastic fragrance which you don't get in anything.
Yeah.
It's a very specific fragrance. So the earth element has its own character smell. So now revise again. Space 1,
Sound,
air 2,
touch,
fire 3,
form,
water 4, earth
taste,
5.
smell.
And another special character symptom of earth is its being solid all the time. You cannot see earth in a liquid form unless you heat it to thousands of degrees,
Like
right?
a volcano. Yeah. Exactly.
Right? But most of the time, almost all the time, earth is a solid thing that
Mhm.
you can touch, you can feel, you can see, you can smell, and when you tap it, you can hear also the sound. Isn't it so beautiful in the nature? Now we have begun from something inexplicable to something explicable, and in that explicatory being, the grades of creation from 1 to 5.
And
Isn't it?
also, all those expressions are reflection, and it's the same thing on the top that we didn't
Exactly.
explain in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So, isn't earth the part of the water? Isn't earth and water part of the fire? Aren't earth, water, fire part of the air? And all these four part of the space? And that space itself is part of something. Can we deny this?
No,
You see, this is how the Vedanta or the Indian philosophy explains even the abstract knowledge of creation, of the nature. Now we all agree that we have come to a state from completely nothing to something completely physical. This is this is the completion of the one level of the nature. And now, can we say how are we connected to this?
yes.
We connected to this because we are going to be the future generations of creation in this earth, on this earth, within this nature. We have not yet come into being. So, in Sankhya philosophy, the one I just referred to you, the philosophy of methodical exposition of nature, they are these five elements in the nature are called tan matras, or those you remember now we said tan matra is the part of the tattva. If you remember some time ago, a few minutes ago, we said the tattva means that which has expanded, and
Yes.
this, yeah, and when that has expanded, it has given a new term to all these put together. Group of the five things put together are called tan matra. Say this word, please.
Pan mantra.
Yes, tan matra means that part or that portion or that particle or that section. This is what tanmatra is. And now if we divide this word further, you understand this very clearly, and then it will be very easy to go further. When we divide this further, it is the combination of tat plus matra. Tat means that.
That's yes.
What that? Which that? That the source.
Uh-huh.
Don't lose that source. We are still clinging, coming down from that source. Matra is particle. A smallest indivisible particle is matra. So, these five things created so far are still in the form of tanmatras. means smallest individual particles of that whole nature. And these tanmatras have further evolved. Today, we shall stop at this level, that we have come
What
from
about say
inexplicable state of Brahman, Allahu, the God, to an explicable state of earth or Prithvi Matra. Okay? I hope this has, was clear as I could make it. And
it's
all
clear,
our viewers,
it's simple, but it needs us to open our minds and think
yeah,
differently, not be
yeah,
stagnant with some ideas. So, uh, as usual, we take more time than we expected. But as long as the conversation is wonderful and lovely, why not? And people can stop at any time and continue. There's two comments I have uh, because you mentioned earlier, and maybe we can discuss that later in details. That if we decided to make the world better, we can. But is chaos or not like each thing has the opposite? Is it part of nature? So some apologies on the world, we have deities for life, deities for death. I will, for example, talk about in ancient Egypt, we have Osiris for the god of life, and we have Seth, which is the understanding we call him the god of evil, but he's not. He's like represent chaos, and chaos. It's important. For example, we like City first or City second, which both of them were very famous pharaohs, not pharaohs, ancient Egyptian kings, because pharaohs maybe it's a wrong terminology to use about this civilization. Ancient Egyptian kings that they named themselves as belonging to the god of what we call today evil, but it's not evil. How come evil and people like praising that god and actually they called and they asked that god to help the ancient Egyptians to kick out the Hyksos, which means that we need this chaos that some people now interpret it as something very negative and bad. Maybe Sekhmet, the goddess of war, and Sekhmet, she's the daughter of Ra, the god of creation. And he actually asked her to kill people because they did some problems, and her role is very important. So how come this, what we interpret in our modern culture today as darkness, evil? Because I know in ancient civilizations and in ancient philosophy, they don't see good and bad like that. Like it's yin yang, which is the light and darkness. Both are important, and the balance is important. So maybe when we talk about that, we can make the world happy and good. We don't consider that part of our nature, the organization and the chaos, and we cannot live without both. And in our modern culture globally, we usually resonate chaos or the darkness in a negative way. I fall in that trap a lot, and sometimes I say you have to embrace everything, but sometimes I am judgmental. This is bad. This is okay, but it's part of existence. And sometimes they say how to transcend the negativity into positivity. And is that change, that changing in nature, or it's part of nature to have that balance? And like, if it's part of nature, why we upset when there is famine, death, wars? Like, it's completely unpleasant, but I think it's part of nature. Like I don't know how to ask or to articulate the question very well, but I'm pretty sure you got my point.
yes, yes, yes. I tell you what, there are three things. One is the chaos you said, And the equivalent word in Indian philosophy here is Maya or Ajnana. Ajnana is ignorance. All chaos is the activities of ignorance, in ignorance, with ignorance, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So, from Ajnana, we apply Vijnana. Vijnana is a science or scientific exploration, investigation, experimentation. That is what the science in itself is called Vijnana. And with the in the state of Ajnana, chaos or ignorance, you apply the scientific experimentation called Vijnana or research, then you come to a state called Gnana or the knowledge or the wisdom. So, from chaos to experimentation and to the knowledge. From Ajnana with Vijnana, you get Gnana. When you get Gnana, knowledge, what happens? Knowledge gives you a proof of what is right. So once you know what is right, will you ever indulge in which is not right?
I love this so much. It's so simple. I am laughing because you like you completely destroyed the question in a very simple way that chaos exists because of ignorance. And
Yes,
sometimes to change the ignorance, you need to learn, to transcend
yes,
ignorance. But if you
yes,
decide not to learn, you will be ignorant. You will live in chaos.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And all the problems that we are suffering today from the days of Adam and Eve, let us take that as a standard model of human beings creation, from that day until today or in future, every problem is the result of ignorance only, Ajnana only, Maya only. So when you become intellectuals, scientists, and artists, you get to the point of realization about the truth, about the reality, about the love, about the good, about the tolerance, about the sharing. And when this happens, once you understand what is love, once you understand that I am experiencing the same pain and pleasure as others experience. When I am hungry, I feel the pangs of it. When I am happy, I feel the pleasure of it. When you realize the same thing is happening with the less privileged people right now. Like, for example, we are spending every day billions and billions of dollars to kill each other. Look at the Russia and Ukraine. Look at the Middle Eastern countries, Israel and Palestine and the Lebanon or Yemen or Mexico or South America, wherever.
Species of
All this
earth that kills
because of ignorance.
like
Ignorance.
we can see like cats killing itself as much as human killing itself. We haven't seen like flies or mosquitoes killing itself. Even lions, they don't, no single species or creature on that planet kill itself as much as human we do. And I don't know why we don't do it.
Well,
That's
this
why
is a proud privilege. This is a proud privilege we have. That we can kill each other.
it's a privilege. Wow, that's a completely different perspective.
That is happening. Why? Because of the ignorance, ajnana, stupidity, foolishness, not knowing the truth and reality. So, the journey we have begun today will lead us gradually from this state of non existence to a state of existence and to the state of flourishing, development, progress for everybody, a victory over hunger, disease, and untimely and unfortunate killings, mutual killings. We shall take this journey to all our viewers to a state where each one can realize that yes, I am a proud being. I am a unique being in all this universe, and so are all other human beings. And when we realize this, there will be no place for intolerance, there will be no place for hatred. And when there is no hatred, there is love, tolerance, sharings. This is the journey we will take. In our next episode, actually, we have explained today the creation from a solid one thing to five states. And before this one thing being came into being in itself, there are few more states. I did not want to touch upon them today, not to confuse our viewers. Now that they have an idea what this is all around us, I will in next episode take you back again to the source and explain even how this space has come into being. And then we go. So I hope I was able to communicate as simple as possible with my limited knowledge to all our viewers all around the world in different continents and different time zones. And every one of you, my dear own reflections, I told you, I am in you and you are in me. Wherever you are, after viewing this, if you still have any queries, inquiries, comments, and explanations, please do post and share with us. The common goal here is my goal is not to become a guru. My goal is to become a friend of you and to share my knowledge with you. And I want you to become like me to share your experience with every others. So, where there is strife and hatred, let us spread health, happiness, and peace to all. And at the end, I would say Om Shantihi. Om is equivalent of Amen or Amin. And in Hinduism, it is called Om. We'll talk about this in our next episodes. And I wish you all good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night in whatever time zones you are. See you next time again. Keep well and remember always one simple thing, be good to yourself and then be good to others. This is the final philosophy I learned in my life and I would like to share with it, and I want you to do the same. Be good to yourself, be proud of yourself, love yourself, and enjoy every moment of this life. So, wishing you that. Bye bye until we see you again.
Thank you, Dr. Prabhakar Madhikar, for this great ending. I love how you ended this episode. And as you said, Om Shanti Om to everyone. And until our next episode in 2 weeks from today. And we
Yes.
have few viewers. If anyone would like to write any questions, please do so. Keep following our social media on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to see the ads for our new episodes. And we're learning together, and this is the start of a journey. So to support us, just watch, like, share, and follow our channel because this is the key to spread the word globally. Thank you and have a wonderful day, night, evening. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay, so we stopped the streaming.